You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the MBL Network.
Welcome one and all to another edition of the MBL Live pregame show. That's brought to you each and every week, of course, by our graphics sponsor, web3ks.com. All the graphics they do for us, we super appreciate all the work that all business over at web3ks.com does for the MBL Network. If you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, I implore you, use web3ks.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, the commish himself, Bomber. We got a great game on tap for you today. It is an NFC South battle between the Tennessee Titans fighting for the number 2 seed in the AFC against the Jacksonville Jaguars fighting for their playoff lives. Bomber, here's the exciting part. It is the last broadcast of 2017. It has been a banner year for the MBL, a banner year for the MBL Network, and we're closing it off with one of the best games we've seen so far on the network.
Yeah, Week 16, NBL Season 28, broadcast number 160. We got the 12-2 Tennessee Titans, been steamrolling, and now they're getting backed by a guy named Pricey. He's all on the Sonny Weaver train. This might be a Super Bowl team we're getting an early look at before we dive into those playoffs, but they're taking on the 8-6, and I'd say had a pretty good season, Jacksonville Jaguars. And guess what? The NBL Network has more content now than it's ever had. We got stuff coming out every week. Tomorrow night, we got Building the Franchise, Detroit Lions. We got a big game tonight. Tons of stuff. We just had the Highly Debatable, and before that, we had the Commissioner Corner podcast. So it's an exciting time to be on the MBL Network, also to be a fan and subscriber.
Yeah, and not only that, folks, don't forget, we here on the MBL Network will be broadcasting every round of the playoffs. We've got Week 17 coming up. We're going to bring you one of the top playoff implication matchups. All the playoffs are MBL Super Bowl, and then we got our rookie draft for Season 29. We're working our way to MBL Season 30 here. Lots going on here on the network. You're going to be seeing a lot of great stuff coming up in 2018, but we got one more game to get going. And before we get to that, let's take a look at some news from around the network. From our very own Nate Silver, we have the NBL Power Rankings dropping for the final time this year, or at least what I can only assume will be the final time. Of course, at the top, 14-1, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Tennessee Titans at 12-2, coming at number 2, followed by the Lions, the Browns, and the Chargers. Bomber, your Lions are sitting there at 3, but we're looking throughout this, and we've got some interesting teams up here. The Falcons and the Saints. I mean, look at this. This NFC South has turned into really a two-man race. The New Orleans Saints with Ross Bonham getting healthy, they clock in at number 7. You got the Titans at number 2. I mean, there are a lot of teams on there that I know the Pittsburgh Steelers are a favorite this year, but there are a lot of teams that you could see make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Saints get their quarterback, their star quarterback back, that's Ross Bonham, and the Carolina Panthers hit rock bottom. Kind of a little
nice.
play on words.
That was real nice. That was well done. I enjoyed that.
All right. I was thinking about that. I want to make sure my delivery was good.
Well done.
But I want to give a big shout out to the Tennessee Titans. We're going to get to see them tonight. I already said they're 12-2. Week 16. Look, the Titans have been 1 or 2 on these power rankings nearly the last second half of the season. Consistency coming out of Tennessee. Ownership has done a great job. That's a big shout out to Sonny Weaver. I say the constant underachiever, but he might be overachieving this year. So you got to give credit where credit is due. A couple teams, a couple, mainstays in this top 10. You see the Los Angeles Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Oakland Raiders have been up there. We've seen your team get up in that top 10 multiple times, probably 2/3 of the cycle. Buffalo Bills. I think that's a surprising team to watch along with your favorite New Orleans Saints. You've talked about them a lot. Those are the 2 teams I want to keep an eye on because you see the New Orleans Saints at 7. That's the highest they've been on the top 10 power rankings. And the Buffalo Bills might be the hottest team in the NBL right now towards the end of the season. They seem to be winning off, and it looks like they're trying to knock the Jets off of that comfortable spot. Jets were atop this division for for what, 70% of the season.
Jets will look like they were going to run away with that division. The Bills were under 500. The Bills get hot. They're hot right now. One of the hottest teams in the MBL. Again, look at, a team that's not getting a whole lot of talk. Look at that team at number 4, the Cleveland Browns, 13-2. They have been a mainstay fighting for that division title. I think the Steelers are going to come out with that one anyways, but the Browns are going to be a dangerous team going into the playoffs. But still a lot to be decided here, and that has to do with tonight's game. The Jacksonville Jaguars needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive, setting the stage for you if the Jacksonville Jaguars lose any of their next 2 games, they are out of the playoffs, so they need to keep winning, and they need a little bit of help to get in. Let's look at the players to watch. First on the side of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and of course their number 1 wide receiver, Allen Robinson, once again over 1,000 yards, 20.9 per catch, 8 touchdowns. Bomber, I don't think it's out of the realm possibility to call this Jacksonville Jaguars team the most improved team, and I think going back to those power rankings, that's what makes the Titans that Titans 2-loss record the most impressive. Is this division has gotten better with the Jacksonville Jaguars getting better. I don't know if they're going to get in the playoffs this year. They need a win tonight, but I think this year with Allen Robinson, with what they've been able to do with Daniel Shirley's improvement, I think this Jacksonville Jaguars team has proved they are a team that's going to be one to be reckoned with in the AFC for the next couple of seasons.
All right, couple things I want to touch on with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Daniel Shirley, obviously you bring him up, sophomore slump not happening, 96 QBR, posting a career high, 17 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Still needs to clean up his interceptions, but this is coming off a 10 touchdown, 18 interceptions, 69, shout out to Gronkowski, QBR for Daniel Shirley as a rookie, and this was the number 1 overall selection in NBL season 27 rookie draft. So this is a guy that had, they called him the savior of the franchise, and he seems to be just doing so. I want to put this in your head real quick. Allen Robinson, obviously the mainstay of this offense. He was here for multiple seasons, 50 catches, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, still 2 games remaining. But let's look at the guys that had the moving pieces, the guys that just came in. Eric Ebron, 35 catches, 567 yards, 2 touchdowns. Expect that to go up next season. Morris Barkley, they brought him over from where? From Buffalo. Big receiver over there, 20 catches, 424 yards, 5 touchdowns. So he's got 20 catches, and 5 of them have been for touchdown. That's big. I think they're going to improve. I think next year they're going to be the team that's going to be challenging for not just the wild card spot, but I think they're going to be challenging this Tennessee Titans team. Right now, I'm all about the Tennessee Titan. I'm on the Titan train with Pricey. We're sitting next to each other. We're in first class, looking around. Not many people on board. I think I see OSU at the back end. Maybe I'm
coming up. I got on
back there.
Yeah.
The buffet back there.
Oh yeah, there's a buffet. It's a real nice buffet too.
What kind of food's on that?
He got crab legs back here. Okay, this is a real buffet.
Wow, a little ritzy over there for Sonny Weaver. Yes, I think next season. But Allen Robinson, point out, first 1,000 yards receiver for this team. This is a big time. He was 750 yards in NBL season 27, 899 in season 26. This is on the up and up. Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm putting them up there as my sleeper team. Not anymore. They were a sleeper team this year. Not anymore. I expect real deal results. 11, 12, 10 wins next season for Jacksonville. You can book it.
Yeah, we'll see how the Jacksonville Jaguars respond to that, because it's a whole new game when people know that you're a good team. You got that target on your back. They're no longer a sleeper. Everybody knows what the Jaguars team is made. Let's look at the Tennessee Titans. And I'll give credit to our graphics guy, Kyle. Marcus Mariota, of course, a very important part of this team, and he's having a nice year. 69% completion percentage, up over 3,000 yards, a quarterback rating of 101, 22 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. And Bomber, of course, touch on Marcus Mariota, but there's another player I want to mention. I'm going off the books here. I want to talk also about their very young second-year player, Darren Anua. 44 tackles, 17 sacks. This guy is a monster on the defensive line. Marcus Mariota has a lot of pressure on him to perform, but I think a big part of this reason why this Titans team has been so good is because of Anua and the pressure they've been able to get on quarterbacks, and I think Anua is going to be in Daniel Shirley's face all night tonight.
Yeah, we spoke with Anua. This is no sophomore slump here either. He had 17 sacks last season as a rookie. Everyone said, man, it's going to be tough for him to get back to that level. No, he's right back here, 24 years old, University of Alabama. He was kind of a late first-round pick in the NBL season 27 rookie draft, but he has 17 sacks again this season with 2 games left remaining. And, I spoke to him earlier. I said, is it Daron or is it Darren? He cleared it up. It's Darren, but the same thing.
I'm going with D.
Yeah, with D. Williams, kind of in the NBA, kind of a similar thing. But yes, him, and I thought actually you're going to say Darian Montgomery, the sophomore wide receiver for this team. He's balling from Ohio State, 6'5", 223 pounds. He's closing in on you know, another big year for him. Obviously, he battled some injuries this year, but this guy can get it done. He has 48 catches, 679 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I expect him, once he hits about 25, 26, he'll be one of the top 5 receivers in the NBL production-wise. But yes, Marcus Mariota has a lot of options, and one of the best ones is simply handing the ball off to Derrick Henry, who's averaging 5.4 yards per carry. So this is going to be a really good game, and I'm really excited. Even though I'm on this Tennessee Titan train, I have I kind of have a little bond with the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise.
Hashtag
we've
40
done some
days.
practices with them. Yes, we did 40 days with them. Detroit and Jacksonville, you know, we did some practices with them. So we always are rooting for them, but I'm a realist at the end of the day. And there's nothing that can deny a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense and a 12-2 record. You got to go Tennessee. So today, I'm making my pick. 24-17, the Titans over the Jacksonville Jaguars at home.
Wow, that's going to be, two things that are sort of going to be, we're going to watch today. The Titans, a home field advantage right now, top 5 offense, top 5 defense. It's going to be interesting to watch how they play at home against a division rival. The Jaguars lost this game earlier. It was a close matchup the first time they played, but the Jaguars, they're a motivated team. But the Titans, they're still fighting for that number 2 seed. They want that 2 seed to not have to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know how much Sonny doesn't like facing the lip in the playoffs, in the regular season, in preseason, in chess, in anywhere. He just runs away. So they want the number 2 seed. This is a hungry Titans team, but a real hungry Jaguars team. We're ready to get it underway, folks. We appreciate you tuning into the pregame show, but let's get you to the main event. Coming up next, playoff implications abound in this game. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars fighting for their playoff lives against the leading Tennessee Titans. It's coming up right now here on MBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Jake Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching MBL.
You're watching the MBL Network.
And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's going to be dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking, deep over the middle. He has a man, it's Brandon Cooks, who catches and makes a man miss!
Oh, that's
Woodard is
touchdown.
dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker
Look at
ability,
him
he
go.
finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. MBL Live broadcast number 160 is underway, folks. We got Week 16 action. It's the 8-6 Jacksonville Jaguars facing off against the 12-2 Tennessee Titans. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning into MBL Live on MOSU. I'm hanging with my man, the commish himself, Bomber. Bomber, this is quite a matchup. Again, we bring you the best playoff matchups coming down, and this is one of the best. The Jaguars needing a win to stay alive. The Titans needing a win to try to sew up that number 2 seed in the AFC. This is a great matchup, and the best part about it is these are two teams who know each other pretty well facing off in their own division.
Absolutely. So divisional games, we spoke about this last time on the NBL Live broadcast about the importance of divisional games, and anything can happen. These are the opponents that have that rivalry, that blood. It's just all mixed into one big game in which they go, you know, we're coming out, we're going to give it 110%. We're going to try to win this game. We're going to do everything we can. There's just that rivalry. So you never really know. A team that gets to study you and sees you multiple times throughout the year, it makes it a tough out for you. And though Tennessee's playing at a much higher level than Jacksonville, it's just that divisional game where anything can happen. And Jacksonville, they got extra motive today. If they lose, they're done. If they win, they need a little bit of help. They need to win out, and they need some help. But they have to win to stay alive, and I expect them to really come out and play a really tough and strategic game.
1st and 10, Titans getting the ball on offense first. They're going to hand it off to Derrick Henry right up the middle, and that's what Derrick Henry does so well. Hit 6 yards on the play, bringing up a 2nd and 4. Let's take a look in the chat, see what people are saying. Their predictions play. I go with 27-17 Titans. Pricey going Titans 24-14. Homer taking the Jaguars in an upset 23-21. And the part I think people forget about this Tennessee Titans team is that run game. Derrick Henry, I mean, we know Marcus Mariota, this wide receiver core is so good, but Derrick Henry has been a real nice player. He has chipped in with 8 touchdowns and is such a tough tackles on 2nd and 4. It's going to be Mariota throwing it. He just gets up. Oh, lucky that one wasn't jumped as we have an injury on the play. But Marcus Mariota, lucky that one isn't going the other way, because if the Jaguars come down with that one, he's got a lot of green space, and we're looking at a 7-0 ball game.
Yeah, kind of got away from him. I think Jay Vines in the chat, MBL's biggest fan, that's what I'm calling him. He said, man, he expects more from Marcus Mariota on this Tennessee Titans franchise. I do too. I've seen him as pretty much a game manager thus far, one of the best in the business at it, but they really rely on this defense to create turnovers and this run game to kind of pound the yards up, and then you sprinkle a little Marcus Mariota here and there. Here we go in a 3rd and 4. Expect a running play here to Derrick Henry.
3rd and 4, they are going to hand it off to Henry, who bounces it outside. He's got the first down and more. Look at him truck through the cornerback. You're going to need more than a corner to bring down Derrick Henry. He gets to the 45-yard line. Give him 14 yards on the play. Bomber, we don't know Derrick Henry as that speedster. He's much more of a between-the-tackles runner, but he got outside the tackles. Great blocking by the offensive line, and then he just bowled through the secondary.
Yeah, when you see an inside zone right there, here's my problem. He takes it outside, and we said he's not a speedster, but he takes it outside, and he goes 5 yards before hitting the first contact, and that's the issue I have right now with this Jacksonville Jaguar defense. That's
a real nice throw up the seam to Taylor, up to the 36-yard line, as it looks like one of the Jaguars' defensive ends down with some cramps. But this Jacksonville Jaguars team, Bob, we talk about how much they've improved offensively with Daniel Shirley and Allen Robinson, but defensively, this team is creating a lot more turnovers. They're 3rd in the MBL in turnover differential because they find a way to force turnovers, something they weren't doing before.
Absolutely, and real quick, the injury was to Grant Doman from University of Auburn. He was a top 5 pick in the MBL draft, and he leads the teams in sacks with 18 sacks on the season. So that's a huge loss if he's not able to return to this game.
Well, only a couple yards there for Henry, but gets bailed out with a face mask. So tack on 15 to that, and that's exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars don't want to do, is give those free yards, whether it's turnovers, penalties, sacks on the other side. They can't make a whole lot of mistakes. This Titans team is opportunistic. 1st and 10. As he's going to throw it down to Davis right at the goal line. Did he get in? He is in! Touchdown, Titans! Oh, that one was methodical, folks. It looked like after Marcus Mariota almost threw that pick on the 2nd play of the game, he just took a big, deep breath and settled down, made some nice throws down the field. And, I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is improved, but the Titans made it look like preschool right there.
Absolutely. They just walked down the field. I mean, one bad read from Mariota, they get themselves in a 3rd and 4, and they just casually hand the ball off. And the top 8 defense in the league cannot hold or contain these Tennessee Titans from essentially just walking down the field. And now you're behind against this 12-2 Tennessee Titans team. It's going to be big because their defense is really, really good.
Yeah, their defense, top 5 defense. But Jacksonville, I think the big thing for Jacksonville here on the road after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive to the Titans, don't get panic. You have to come out, run your game plan. You got Leonard Fournette, you got Daniel Shirley. Do what you do as Grant is into the game. It's a shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 over to the right. Shirley dropping back to pass on 1st down. He'll toss this underneath. It is complete. Shake and bake move. There's a flag on the play. He's making man miss left and right. This one might be coming back, though, and it is, and it was Allen Robinson on the opposite side of the field trying to make something happen, but he just grabs on, and we get to see the most common of 1st downs, Bomber. It's a 1st and 6.
Yeah, that was an awkward situation right there. And I thought, what a nice move right there by the offensive player, juking inside and out, breaking a couple tackles, all for just to come right back, because Allen Robinson said, hey, that wasn't me catching the ball, so I'm going to hold and bring this back.
1st and 6 for Daniel Shirley as he drops back to pass, rolling. He's got all the time in the world. He's going to take off, try to toss it downfield, and
wow.
That one was into the camera bay. I don't think any of those photographers are listed as eligible receivers.
Yeah, watch this here. A cover 2 invert call. Kind of a risky call for Tennessee. That is a big opportunity for that seam route on the left side to get vertical down the field and get over top of that safety as he comes in to play that yellow zone.
Yeah, I love that cover 2, but I don't like that cover 2 invert is real good in certain situations, but in this point of the field, it's just tough to run. Look at Grant run through tacklers and get the 1st down at the 39-yard line. Give him 9 on the play as Corey Grant finding his way to the 1st down marker. The blitz came, and Corey Grant said, just doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and get the 1st down, folks.
Yeah, you don't see much of this from Corey Grant. This is kind of a guy only averaging 2 yards per carry. He's had 83 carries this year for only 169 yards. He's a speedster, 5'11", 203 pounds. You don't see much breaking tackles from him, but it looks like we're going to get to see him up the middle a lot this game.
Yeah, he tries to get up the middle there, only a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9. This Tennessee Titans defensive line, it's so good, Bomber, not just in the pass game. We know what Anua can do in the pass game, but they've done a great job at limiting the rushing attacks.
Absolutely. This Titans defense, they adapt and overcome. That's what we like about them a lot. Let's see if the Jacksonville can kind of find their way against this team.
Daniel Shirley looking for the corner route and fits it in there, but it's stripped away. Nice defensive play on that one. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 in the first real test for this Jacksonville Jaguars team. A 3rd and relatively long 3rd and 9. They're going to have to find a way to convert this one as we're getting word Leonard Fournette is hurt. Something that is not unusual, Bomber. We've seen Fournette hurt quite a bit in this cycle.
And that's going to limit this team. You know, you got Corey Grant. You have essentially an offensive attack that's really just ground and pound with Leonard Fournette and running the ball. He's a 3-down back. And now you're in this situation as he got all the kinds of time in the pocket. He's rolling out. Shirley's looking nowhere to go. And it's going to be a quick punt. And it looks like Shirley's grabbing his abdomen or his hand. And he's down. Wow.
If you're holding your breath if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, hoping that that's not worse than it looks, hoping it's just a little tweak, because without Daniel Shirley, I mean, again, this was a guy who struggled in his MBL Live debut, Bomber. He threw 5 interceptions in his first game. He got put into MBL Live, threw 5 picks. Our very own Sonny Weaver, who they're facing right now, Sonny Weaver said this guy will never do anything. Is this a nice return? He's up past the 30 to the 35. He'll get past the 40-yard line. Said Daniel Shirley would never be anything. He has proven him wrong, but it's now turned into, if he's out for an extended period of time, and by extended period, I mean this game, Jacksonville's chances of winning goes down significantly.
And that means their playoff hopes are falling in the toilet just as well. I'm really concerned right now for Jacksonville, especially this offensive side of the ball. Without Daniel Shirley, what are they really going to be able to do? They're not going to be able to drive the ball vertically down the field. And we knew Daniel Shirley was kind of a project. I mean, an early draft pick. Was he the #1 pick overall, we said, in NBL season 27?
Yes.
Okay, so #1 pick overall, and he didn't come out the gate starting. You know, we had Jacoby Brissett come over from New England. He ended up having a starting role for about 5 to 6 games before they decided really to go with him. As down goes Mariota. What a sack and edge pressure from Miles Jack.
And Shirley, it looks like he's going to be okay. They're saying it's just cramps, tweak something. And it turns out, Bomber, this is basically a playoff game for the Jaguars. I think unless something was broken, I think Daniel Shirley was probably coming back out on the field.
Absolutely. He's got to. This is his team. You know, he wants to be the captain of this team. He wants to be the face of the franchise. He can't go out in games like this. Fans will remember this. Big games like this require historic moments. And if you aren't on the field, you can't be part of those historic moments.
Oh, hey, we got a big shout-out. We got to give a big shout-out. Our very own friend of the network, Claudia's in the chat. The lovely wife of our very own Unisolated.
Absolutely.
The one who wears the pants in that family. Claudia's in the chat. Welcome to MBL Live. We all know you're rooting for Sonny as the Tennessee Titans take a delay of game, and they're going to make it a little harder themselves, make it 3rd and 22.
Yeah, 3rd and 22 here as Mariota just loses track of the play clock, and it runs all the way down and expires. So it's going to be tough here. Expect something simple, maybe a draw, maybe a screenplay here from Marcus Mariota. As we said, he has game-changer, game-manager numbers. You wouldn't expect much more than what he's going to give you here, just a little screenplay to the outside. And they're going to go ahead and punt this ball.
Yeah, well covered to make sure that didn't get away. Yeah, great defense by Jacksonville, forcing them into a 4th and 25. So you're talking about what looked like was going to turn into disaster for Jacksonville. Bomber, when Daniel Shirley went down, they get news that Shirley's okay. And then they sack Marcus Mariota and really back this team up, put him in a hole. And now Jacksonville's going to have a great opportunity here as they'll catch this ball at the 20-yard line. They'll go down about the 26-yard line. That's where this offense is going to come back out with Daniel Shirley. No Leonard Fournette. Barbara, what is to make of Leonard Fournette? This is a guy who we know has the tools to be explosive when he's healthy. He's been great, 112 carries this year, but he just can't seem to stay on the field.
Again, only 112 carries. I think the leading attempt in the league is somewhere between 220 and 240, so he's about 100 attempts shy of that. He just seems like he cannot stay on the field. He hasn't played since week 12, in which he got hurt against the Houston Texans, but he is a guy who has a nice little play right there, gets him down run from Corey Grant picks up 9 yards, going to be a 2nd and 1 for Jacksonville. 112 attempts, 567 yards, so he's getting 5.1 yards per carry. It's good, and 9 touchdowns. Last year, he had a full load, 212 attempts, but the year before that, only 32, so injuries really plaguing Leonard Fournette early in his career.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's a big drop-off. Leonard Fournette with 112 carries, averaging 5.1 per carry. Corey Grant, 83 carries, so we're looking at only 30 less carries. He's averaging only 2 yards per carry. That is a big drop-off. As this pass underneath by Daniel Shirley, it's complete, Whoa. But we've got, that's a big hit.
Big hit.
I think he hurt the old bum muscle there. That's the old, he's grabbing the tushy.
Yeah, you got to protect your players right there. Jacksonville, a nice throw by Shirley there underneath, but he kind of led his man right into a brick wall, and he goes down, and he's going to be out. I couldn't see him coming back this game. 1st
and 10, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Daniel Shirley. Grant in the backfield. As on 1st and 10, a lot of players in the box for Tennessee. Shirley, I think, recognizing that one. Quick jump there, but nobody goes off. And now we got a jump by the Jaguars, and that's going to back him up 5 yards, undisciplined on the line. Here's the thing I don't understand, Bomber. The moment you see that defensive lineman move, just stand up, because you know that's drawing him off sides. You got to get the penalty there.
Get the neutral zone infraction if you're the offensive line for Jacksonville, if they had any awareness there. But it looks like they don't. Corey Grant gets the ball. He's heading up the middle, nowhere to go. And maybe picks up a few, going to put them in a 2nd and long, 2nd and 12 situation. Now, if you're Jacksonville right here, here's your opportunity here. 2nd and 12. Let's dig ourselves out of this, 2nd and long, and let's try to make it a 3rd and manageable and give our offense an opportunity to have a little bit of a balanced attack and not have to drive the ball so deep down the field.
Yeah, ball on the 40-yard line. Shirley in the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Looking. He's going to throw that one to nowhere. That was real bad as Westbrook. They're going to say he's going to come back into this game, a hit pointer. But that was not a good one. I don't know if that slipped out of his hands. He was trying to throw it underneath to Grant. But, this team has Daniel Shirley has a lot of pressure on him. Okay, when you got a running back that has 5.1 yards per carry, you can rely on your run game. You go to Corey Grant with only 2 yards per carry, a lot more pressure on the pass game. They're facing a 3rd and long, 3rd and 12. Looking, and down goes Shirley. Goldman with the sack on that play. That one just a straight-up coverage sack, only a 3-man rush. They still got to Shirley. He's down for the 2nd time, and Jacksonville's going to be forced to punt the ball away.
Yeah, you saw a cover 2 spy right there. Man defense, they took away the middle of the field, and just not enough time in the pocket for Daniel Shirley to really make a play down the field.
This punt's going to be taken inside the 5-yard line, up past the 15, up past the 20. He's up past the 25, tries to get past the defender. That spin move did not fake him out, though, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for Tennessee. So Jacksonville's had 2 opportunities here on offense, and so far their offense has done a great job of moving backwards, not doing a great job of moving forwards, and eventually, Bomber, you got to think this Tennessee Titans offense is going to get clicking real hard, and it's going to be out of reach for the Jaguars.
Yeah, the defense needs to make a play here. Let's see if they can create a turnover, create some kind of offense on the defensive side of the ball. That's what you need to see here from the Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Montgomery coming in motion on 1st and 10. It is Mariota dropping back to pass. He'll find Montgomery underneath a little drag route to the 31-yard line. That's going to take us to the end of the 1st quarter. Your score, Tennessee on top 7-0 early in this game. We appreciate everybody tuning in. MBL Live broadcast number 160. It's Week 16 action again. We'll be announcing that Week 17 game on the MBL Network and on the MBL Twitter at Bomber League. Go ahead, give us a follow over there. Just hit that subscribe button down below so you know each and every time we go live. 2nd and 6, Mariota all the time in the world. Looking, rolling. Oh, he gets away. He's going to try to run for this one. Nope, he's going to toss this over the top and finds Gilmore, but he drops the ball. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 6. Yeah, it looked like it came out. Boye made the tackle. It's going to be a 3rd and 6. Great job keeping his eyes downfield by Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, that's the thing you get. So, you want to say whose game does Marcus Mariota kind of patent himself after in the NBL? A lot of Russell Wilson kind of game. They're a power run team, but when he gets out of the pocket, he can create things and use that playmaker ability to find people down the field.
3rd and 6. Mariota looking on the little corner. Out is Montgomery. He's got room. Wow. Oh, Montgomery tried to jump that route. Will he get caught from behind? He will at the 10-yard line. But the big play on 3rd down. Oh, they tried to make a big play and jump it. And when you miss, you get burned. And Montgomery finds this team down in the red zone.
Yeah, Jacksonville getting way too aggressive. They're only down 7 right now. That was just an opportunity to make a play on the receiver. Maybe he drops it. Now you're finding yourself in a kind of a tough situation. You're early into the 2nd quarter. As a run goes nowhere there for a loss of 3. Tennessee's already up 7. You just have to make a play right there on the receiver. Don't play the ball in that situation. Make a play. They just dropped one that they caught. Maybe they'll drop another one. You would have been punting. Instead, you go for the pick. And look what happens. You can let the offense get inside the red zone.
Especially when you're the safety and you're in a cover 2. You know you're the only one back there. He's going to be getting away if you don't get that ball. 2nd and 13, Mariota in the pocket. Looking, finds a man underneath. It is Davis. Davis doing that ghost truck. Couldn't get through Casper, but he'll be down to the 1-yard line. Going to make up a 3rd and 1. They can get a first down at about the half-yard line. But Tennessee is in business. They need to convert this one and put themselves up 2 scores.
Yeah, truck stick in air. He doesn't care. Gets to the 1-yard line, 3rd and 1. Big opportunity here from Jacksonville due to MBL rules. He won't be able to go for it on 4th down at this point of the game with this lead. So if Tennessee doesn't convert this, they only get 3. This is ideal for Jacksonville. They do not want to give up this touchdown, but it's going to be tough with Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Big formation, I formation for the Titans. They're going to hand it off to Derrick Henry, and it didn't matter. That was a big old haul. It doesn't matter who you had back there. He was getting into the end zone. The Titans get their 2nd touchdown of the game to go up 13-0. Now pending this extra point. You knew on 3rd and 1 they were probably going to give it to their big truck, Derrick Henry. He finds the end zone of Tennessee up 14-0. And if you're Jacksonville, you're not just concerned about the fact that you're down 2 scores. You're concerned about the fact your offense has not been able to get anything going.
Yeah, on the road right now against the 12-2 division rival Tennessee Titan team battling for that #1 spot in the AFC. Jacksonville just looks outmatched. This honestly feels like kind of like a wild card game in the sense you got a wild card team taking on a playoff team essentially, and it just seems like these teams are on 2 different spectrums right now. While I think Jacksonville is a good ball club, definitely aren't ready to compete with the Tennessee Titans right now, especially in this game, MBL Live broadcast number 160.
Well, let's see what the Jacksonville Jaguars have in terms of resiliency. And Bomber, we've looked at this Jaguars team. I mean, there's been a lot of improvement defensively, offensively, but one of the biggest things I think that the Jaguars have done is they're just a resilient team. This was a team that used to get down, and then they would just get down more. Now they start losing, but they find a way to get back into games. It's going to be Daniel Shirley, play action, pass on 1st down, free rush up the middle. I don't really know where he went, but Daniel Shirley completes it. It's a 1st down. It looked like the free rusher came up the middle and realized it was a play action, try to get out to cover the running back, and Daniel Shirley calmly stands in the pocket and delivers a strike to midfield.
Yeah, a couple options there for Daniel Shirley, but he goes with the one a little bit more vertical, a little bit more of a risk, but a nice throw, a nice run after catch, and now they got the offense moving just a little bit here in Jacksonville.
1st and 10, it's a handoff to Grant over the right side, only a yard on the play. Bomber, the one thing that we knew about Daniel Shirley coming out of college was his arm was real good, and we found him sort of honing that skill. He's been able to sort of tone down the wildness, and this guy's got all the throw power in the world. That's what makes him such a good quarterback, and where I think Jacksonville's really excited for this kid's future.
Absolutely, and they're bringing in weapons behind him as well. You got Eric Ebron, Allen Robinson, Morris Barclay. There's a lot of options and opportunity here for this team. Let's see if they can make a move up the middle. Nowhere to go for Corey Grant as he goes down. That's kind of not a good call for me. I don't really like the 2nd and long run play stretch. I think they were just kind of getting their offense going. I think this was an opportunity to put the ball in Daniel Shirley's hands again and see if he can pick you up a couple yards and put you in a 3rd and manageable.
I mean, call me old-fashioned. I'm a big fan of it. If you're in that 2nd and long, if you're going to run the ball, look for a draw play, something like that, as opposed to doing something like that. It was a little too cute with Corey Grant. Now 3rd and 8. Another jump there, but no one moves on Jacksonville's offensive line as Shirley changing up the play. He's got 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left, 1 over to the right. Shirley dropping back to pass. Rush is coming. He gets it up. He finds a man underneath, I believe, and he's going to get the 1st down to the 43-yard line. Oh, and that's just knowing where the sticks are, and Morris Barclay proving why he is such a valuable weapon for this Jacksonville Jaguars offense.
Yeah, nice throw right there. Nice patience in the pocket by Shirley as he steps up. He relies on his blockers to kind of hold their block. He doesn't get nervous. He doesn't panic, and he essentially makes the right call right there on the drag.
1st and 10, play action pass. Shirley under pressure. Shirley steps up in the pocket and finds someone else. It's Tyler with the sack. Daniel Shirley just couldn't find anyone. That pocket got real tight, and he had to take a sack there, losing 7 on the play, bringing up a 2nd and long.
Yeah, nowhere to go there for Daniel Shirley and kind of puts himself out of field goal range. So at worst, I thought they were going to come away with a field goal, but that sack at 2nd and 17 is going to really test this offense right here. They're going to have to gain probably another, 13 yards here to put themselves in really reliable field goal range.
Yeah, something like that. As it's a quick screen to the outside. And this one's not going to go. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tennessee Titans prepared for that one. They get a couple back to the 45-yard line. It would be a 63-yard field goal from there. So you're looking at probably another 8 yards here on third down. So if you're Daniel Shirley and the Jacksonville Jaguars, you just have to take what the defense gives you. You don't want to force a turnover here. You want to try to get some points if you can. If you get the first down, absolutely do it. 3rd and 12, shotgun formation for Daniel Shirley. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 2 in the backfield with Shirley. Corey Grant split to his left. It's Shirley dropping back to pass, rolling. He's got a lot of green space in front of him. And he's going to try to toss this up, and it is batted away, and it's going to be...
Bad decision.
Yeah, it's going to be
horrible
4th down.
Decision.
Did you see the amount of green space he had? I could have gotten the first down.
Take off and run, and if you don't pick up the whole 12, you've probably picked up enough to where you can probably attempt a field goal and get on the board. Now they're punting again, and it's 14-0, and you're putting a 2-minute drill inside to an offense that has been fairly good as a big hit on special teams. By number 31, the Jacksonville Jaguars special team has came to play today against their division rival. But yeah, that was an opportunity to get in field goal range and put points on the board and say, hey, we didn't come away with 7, but at least we came away with 3, and that's something that you build upon. Now they're punting the ball off to Tennessee, and Tennessee has an opportunity to extend this lead.
Yeah, who knows if you would have gotten the first down there, but you at least would have gotten into field goal range for sure. As now the Titans have an opportunity to put this one kind of out of reach. As on 1st and 10, it's going to be hand off to Derrick Henry. Stretch run. He's got some room on the outside. He's got a first down and more up to the 24-yard line. It's interesting to watch this Titans rushing attack, Bomber. They have Derrick Henry, who is a bruiser, but they really like to run this guy outside.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of outside runs or a lot of zones inside, bouncing outside for Tennessee early in this game. It's definitely an edge pressure. They're going to have to contain this halfback and force him back inside. As crazy as it sounds, you got to force Derrick Henry back inside because he's killing you outside running the ball. 1st
and 10, shotgun formation. Mariota dropping back to pass, looking. He's looking over the middle of the field, and Davis with a diving catch at the 39-yard line. Mariota very patient, waiting for his stud wide receiver Davis to come open. And now they have a first down, and they are hurrying up, minute 5 and counting to go. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 over to the left. He's got 1 in the backfield as well. Dropping back to pass. He's just going to toss this underneath, take what the defense gives you. It's Davis with the catch. Flag down. This one might be coming back.
Wow, that's big.
And it is. It's their stud right tackle, Jack Conklin out of Michigan State. He held on that one. It's going to back him up 10 yards and really stops a drive that had a lot of momentum.
Yeah, right before Mariota gets rid of that ball, you see a hold. And that's big because he had a guy open and their drive was moving fairly well. Now they're back to their own 29 with 56 seconds left. Yes, they have 3 timeouts, but this is where a lot of teams get in trouble. Got to make sure that Tennessee doesn't turn the ball over here.
1st and 20, draw play to Derrick Henry. Oh, Derrick Henry blows through a tackle. He's got the first down. Give him 20 on the play. Oh, yeah, Bomber, we talked about running it in long down situations. The Titans run that draw play, and the Jacksonville Jaguars caught completely off guard. Derrick Henry gets the first down.
Yeah, it looks like a quarter formation or some kind of 3-3-5 nickel formation. They just were not matched up for a run. They were playing pass and expecting pass the entire time, and that's what this Tennessee Titans team can do for you. Essentially, they can make you think, hey, there's no way we're running it here, and then they come out and run the ball as an overthrow, bad pass by Marcus Mariota.
Lucky there wasn't anybody on the backside of that play. They were all covering that curl route. Lucky that those overthrows, we see them go for interceptions all the time. 46 seconds to go here in the first half. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is a big game for both these teams. Jacksonville needs to win to stay in the playoff hunt. A loss eliminates them. If the Tennessee Titans need to win to keep a hold of that number 2 seed in the AFC. 2nd and 10, bunch formation, 3 to the right, 1 over to the left. As Mariota drops back to pass, corner blitz coming, and I don't think it was picked up as Taylor catches the ball at the 35-yard line, gets a first down. That one wasn't so much picked up as the corner blitz ran into his own blitzer. A comedy of errors so far by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of edge heat, a lot of edge blitzing from this Jacksonville Jaguar defense, and I think Tennessee's starting to say, you know what, you're going to send that edge heat. I'm going to corner route you on that same side and put your safety in essentially a one-on-one situation against my wide receiver, and we're going to eat like that all day, and you're seeing that from Tennessee now as they're approaching field goal range. They might already be in field goal range. They're looking to say, hey, let's go ahead and get 6 on this drive.
Yeah, it would be a 52-yard field goal from here. So I think they're certainly in field goal ranges on 1st and 10. 5 wide receivers now for Marcus Mariota as he drops back to pass on first down. He looks deep over the middle of the field, and he finds Gilmore, who uses his big body to block out the defender. and get a first down at the 10-yard line. If you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, you are in rut row times right now. This defense is getting torn apart by the Titans. Already down 14-0, 27 seconds and counting here in the first half as Mariota's under center, bunch formation once again, dropping back, finds the guy in the flat. It is Gilmore who gets tackled inbounds, but Tennessee's got 2 timeouts. They'll use one of those to get to the 5-yard line. Bomber, it is not looking good if you're a Jaguars fan, hoping to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, way too easy right now. I want to see some more hard flats here inside the 10-yard line from this defense. But I wouldn't be surprised. Tennessee has 1 timeout. That means they still have an opportunity to run this ball, so expect something from Tennessee. They might get tricky.
2nd and 4, they're going to hand it off on the jet sweep to Montgomery. A play that they have seen oh so much. Sonny, the former owner of the Bengals, watched the Pittsburgh Steelers use that play to perfection inside the goal line. And if there's one thing Sonny Weaver knows how to do, it's to take other people's strategy and use it for himself. What a beautiful play as Tennessee will extend their lead to 21-0. There's going to need to be some major halftime adjustments if Jacksonville's going to have a chance in this game.
So you're saying he stole that from
Pittsburgh
I'm not
and
saying,
then
ran away.
What I'm saying is he borrowed it, but he's not intending to give it back.
He's not giving it back, and you'll never see him again because he left, right?
Yeah,
that
he's long gone. He is long gone. Well, let's just say the Titans have 2 losses on the year. One of them to the Oakland Raiders, one of them to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know that Sonny himself was not happy to see Lip Steelers once again. He thought when he ran away to the AFC South he wouldn't have to face them. Well, I have news, sir. Especially because I'd like to point out as that Wildcat goes nowhere. It looks like the Titans are going to win their division. It looks like the Steelers are going to win their division. So guess who gets to match up in the regular season once again next year?
Oh, who's that?
That would be the Titans. It's the Titans and the Steelers.
Oh, okay. So
they're going to play
2 next year.
What I'm saying, here's all I'm saying is that the Sonny Weaver Tennessee Titans plan of running away and never having to face Lip, it's backfiring.
He's still not playing them twice.
That is true. That is true.
And then he gets the opportunity to
play them in the playoffs,
get a division win, and put himself not in the wild card if he wins enough. So there was a lot of benefits to that. But Jacksonville gets the ball to start this game. It's not over yet. We've seen collapses from this Tennessee Titans team.
Oh, we have.
And we have. And we've seen it against the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm not saying the Jacksonville Jaguars are at that caliber yet, but I'm hoping for something just to keep us interested right now.
I mean, halftime changes. Sometimes that you get that halftime speech, your team sort of locks down. I mean, Jacksonville hasn't turned the ball over. They just haven't gotten anything going. It's on 1st and 10. Looks over the middle of the field. He has a man wide open. It is first down. Allen Robinson down to the 49-yard line. If there's one thing you can say about this Jaguars team, they have not turned the ball over. They just haven't really found a way to get anything going offensively, but they are now in enemy territory, something they weren't able to do in the first half. 1st and 10 for Daniel Shirley and the Jacksonville Jaguars, as they're going to hand it off to Grant over the right side, and he's going to put him back at midfield. I mean, this team looks... I know that there's been a lot of criticism in Jacksonville, Bomber, about Leonard Fournette and how he's made of porcelain, but this is a different team when he's not on the field.
Absolutely. There's really no threat. So what you're going to do is you're going to be able to play the pass. You're going to say, if Corey Grant's going to beat us, let him beat us, and they're not really too worried about him right now.
Blitz coming. And Daniel Shirley just stands in the pocket and absolutely eats a sack from who else but Darren Anua. His 18th sack on the season puts Jacksonville in a 3rd and 19. And if you're looking at it, sort of one of the stats that is maybe indicative of how this game has gone, the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1st down have been absolutely horrendous, and it's putting them in bad situations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 3rd and 19, 3rd and longs. What are you going to do? If you're Jacksonville right now, what exactly are you going to be able to do? The edge pressure comes right down.
Hey, guess who it was?
Sideline and down to number 51.
Darren
exactly.
Once again.
And that's going to be sack number 19 for him on the season. This guy just can't be stopped right now.
Yeah, they're having all sorts of trouble keeping that pass rush back. 4th and 28, nothing to do but punt this one away. But I mean, the offense has been bad for Jacksonville, but on the flip side, the Jacksonville defense has made some comical errors as Nelson's got a nice return. Wow. Uh-oh! He's got a lot of room, folks! Let's just go from bad to worse. No need to talk about the defense. Grapevine and into the end zone. Nelson takes it to the house, 95 yards. And Jacksonville can just kiss those playoff hopes goodbye, as this game, you thought Jacksonville would come in motivated, you thought they'd come in sharp. Instead, it's been sloppy, and that one just another sloppy mistake, letting a punt return go to the house. Bomber, I think we're going to need to find some other things to talk about.
Hey, I'm not even that surprised. I promise you, the last 2 or 3 punts, I thought, man, Nelson gets a lot of space. This special teams, while they had one big hit early in this game, it seems like they're giving up a lot of yards. So maybe the depth of the Jacksonville Jaguars is flooded with a lot of older players or slower players, because Nelson almost seems like he's 3 or 4 times faster than the fastest guy on the defense on those punts.
1st and 10 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I formation, 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. They're going to hand it off to Grant on the outside, trying to find some room over there. Get a little bit up to the 26-yard line, but man, oh man, this has gotten out of hand.
The worst part.
What's the worst part?
The worst part to me is you don't look at this Jacksonville team. You know, you see 28-0, 4:13 left in the 3rd quarter. I don't even remember. Was there a pick 6? Is there something I'm missing? Is there a big turnover I'm missing? Because it really hasn't happened. It's just been complete dominance from one side of the ball, which is the Tennessee side, and Jacksonville just unable to do anything. But you're not seeing really turnovers. So you leave this game and don't say, well, if we just don't turn the ball over, maybe we'll be all right. He should have hiked the ball right there. Had a man offside.
That's another time.
Play.
As it looks like Daniel Shirley dropping back to pass on 2nd and 6. He's going to take a deep shot down the left side, trying to find Robinson. Almost made a catch. But it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Yeah, that's the interesting part about this, Bomber. I mean, we've seen games get out of hand because of turnovers. You get defensive scores. I mean, that special team score is certainly an unusual one. But at the end of the day, it's not been Jacksonville making mistakes in terms of turnovers. It's just been they've been unable to get anything going against this Titans defense. And the Jacksonville defense has been, well, horrible. They have not stopped Tennessee at all. It's on 3rd down. They're going to hand the ball off. A flag down on the play. I think this is going to be a hold, and they didn't get the 1st down anyways. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, here's if there's one silver lining for the Jacksonville Jaguars, it is the fact that their draft pick does get a little better. This is gonna be the first time in a couple seasons they're not gonna be picking top 5. There's a lot to like about this team. It's just when you got that foe in your division you can't get past, it's gonna be tough to win those division titles.
Absolutely, and we're seeing a lot of stuff. As another play by Nelson, a spin move, a juke move, gets down to the 26-yard line as Tennessee looks to continue their dominance this season. They're 12-2 right now. They're up 28-0. Man, it's looking very, very gloom and doom in Jacksonville. But in Tennessee, the lights are bright and the hopes are high as they're looking to get their first MBL Super Bowl in MBL season 28.
Not happening. Nope, not happening. I mean, I gave old Sonny Weaver a lot of credit. I think this Titans team is very good. I think they're going to get to the AFC Championship game. I just think, as Derrick Henry right up the middle, he's going to get a bunch on the play to the 33-yard line. I just think that Pittsburgh Steelers team continues to be dominant, and it scares me, Bomber. They re-signed Ben Roethlisberger. He's, 39? They re-signed him because he's still that good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not dropping off. He's 140 QBR. You got a guy who's 140 QBR, you play him until he's 140 because that is the type of level of play that you just really, you could draft the best player, and there's still so many variables involved in making somebody a superstar. Do you ever get to 140 QBR season? Because Big Ben has done it 3 seasons in a row. NBL season 26, 27, and 28. He's been undoubtedly the best, most efficient quarterback in the NBL. He continues to do so, and he's like, well, I'm not slowing down. Why should I retire? And I completely agree. And Pittsburgh should pay him whatever they want.
3rd and 1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars as man coming in motion tight to the formation. Mariota's going to hand this ball off to Derrick Henry at the middle. He's got the 1st down and more. Look at him fight forward at the 45-yard line. 9 yards on the play. But this is the part about Tennessee that I just don't get. Okay, they got Ben Roethlisberger. He's sitting there 140 QBR, best quarterback in the league. They got Le'Veon Bell, who is arguably one of the best running backs in the league, and they have Antonio Brown, who is the best receiver in the league. This team is stacked offensively, and then you add in the fact that they've got a top 10 defense. I mean, that's just my problem. I find it hard to go against the Steelers team as Henry gets another 3 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 7. I find it hard to go against the Steelers team until somebody finds a way to beat them. The Browns had a nice win against them this season, but I don't know if they can do it in the playoffs because the other thing is this Steelers team, they just get better once the postseason comes around.
Yeah, they do. I always talk about when I call Pittsburgh Steelers games, I say there's a first quarter Pittsburgh Steelers team, and there's a first half Pittsburgh Steelers team, and then there's a second half Pittsburgh Steelers team. Much more aggressive second half pass heavy team that can really take a 7, a 10-point lead, extend it to 21-28. But there's another cycle I haven't really mentioned much, and that's the playoff Pittsburgh Steelers team is a big hit right there by number 36 on Derrick Henry. Henry tries to lay his shoulder down on Wilcox, and Wilcox says, No, I'm going to lay my shoulder down on your knee. And down he goes. It's going to be a 3rd and 1 for the Tennessee Titans, and see if Jacksonville can get a big stop here in a punt. But big opportunity for Pittsburgh this year to show that they're not slowing down and to get themselves back to the Super Bowl. As another big hit there by Myles Jack. They're going to force a punt. A little toss play to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get the ball back. I just don't know what they're going to find. If they're going to find a way to do anything, they need to get a score, and they need to get a score real quick because they're running out of time. Their playoff hopes, they may not have faded completely, but they're pretty dim in the distance. As this punt's going to pin them inside the 10, inside the 5, and just down at the 2-yard line. Just bad to worse. Now Jacksonville has to go 98 yards.
And here we go. You know, here's an opportunity for Jacksonville to throw that pick 6. I said I haven't seen anything yet to go, well, you know, bad throws, you know, pick 6s, fumbles, they're going to hurt you. Honestly, it's been a pretty clean game as far as turnovers goes. And, you know, Jacksonville just still hasn't been able to get on the board, and Tennessee's up 28-0.
1st and 10, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Daniel Shirley. Grant in the backfield as he's going to have a man coming in motion. The old PAFK quick, trying to get something going. And that one absolutely should be a touchdown for the Tennessee Titans. Murphy just bats that one down. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10. What was it? Quentin Beal in the chat. Quentin, thanks for joining us. But I want to get your take on this one. He says, James Harrison is a traitor. Thoughts on Harrison going from the Steelers over to the New England Patriots?
No, he's not a traitor. He was released. He wasn't traded.
No,
I like to start there.
He's a traitor. Yeah. He's a traitor. Yeah. He is going against the Pittsburgh. I mean, this is a guy who has been there. What? He's all but one season in his career. I don't blame him at all. He's not getting played as a fumble.
And he was asking for a release, according to his Instagram post. How many times was it? 4 or 5 times throughout the season. Probably less than a traitor. Probably more or less professional than he should have been, you know, in that situation. He came in there. He's obviously an older player. He's been through this before, though, with Pittsburgh. I believe he played for them, and he moved on. Then he ended up coming back. So he's fell out of favor with the franchise before in the sense of not getting on the field or not being as productive as he once was, or them not feeling he was the guy to move forward with. You know, that's sports. But a traitor, I don't know, man. Going to try to pick up a ring with Tom Brady and there goes a big play right there from Jacksonville. Down to the
there's
50,
a lot of room. He's got a lot. Yeah, no one's going to catch him. Get out of here, big fella. 92 yards? Well, if you wanted to see the start of something, I don't know if it means anything. It could just be a blip on the radar. But if a comeback was going to get started on the back to the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's a great way to do it. Just throw 92 yards down the field. Jacksonville gets their first points of the day. Down 21 in the 3rd quarter. Bomber, that's not insurmountable. It's just the Jacksonville defense has to play better.
Absolutely. The defense has to create some kind of... And the first play, what Mariota's first pass system was almost intercepted, essentially, right?
Yep.
So
should have been
that
intercepted.
would have been a pick 6 or something. You never know. And then you stop a punt return. See what I'm doing here? See, I'm trying to create an opportunity here for Jacksonville. It is still hard. You take away the punt return, you give them a pick 6. They're still down 7, and Tennessee has the ball. So we're not getting there that way. So the numbers really aren't adding up. This has been pretty much total dominance from Tennessee, offensively and defensively, outside of the last throw they just had, in which Daniel Shirley just caught him sleeping on the little post over the middle of the field, got over top of that defense.
1st and 10, pistol formation for Marcus Mariota. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 over the left, 1 tight end. The right side of that formation. Mariota dropping back to pass, looking. He's got a lot of time. Looks deep down the field. Oh, wow. Oh boy, and your guys... Don't tune out of MBL Live. Just that as A.J. Boye with the pick. 14 seconds going the 3rd. A little bit of life. The CPR has started on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tell your friends who tuned out, get back here to MBL Live because this game ain't over yet.
Yeah, you got a man coming across. So the guy on the left side ran it in. Probably about a 10 to 15 yard in. He came all the way across the field. No pressure on Mariota. Wide open. He even had another guy underneath. Instead, he tries to go to that corner route and gets himself into trouble. Let's see if they can rebound right now, these Tennessee Titans, on the defensive side of the ball.
Press coverage on the outside. Now they back off. They don't want to get beat over the top. 1st and 10. Daniel Shirley under center. Grant into the game at halfback. As on 1st down, they're going to hand it off to Grant, who's going to be taken down just behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a yard on the play.
I absolutely cannot stand the Jacksonville Jaguars rushing play calling.
Horrible.
It's like Detroit Lions, NFL. Why are you calling these ridiculous runs as if you got Jerome Bettis? You need to establish the run at this point in the game. It's 28-7. If you're going to give me a run, bounce me something that has some kind of big play ability with Corey Grant? Can we stop running him up the middle on dives and inside zones? Can we go outside and try to have him beat a cornerback and then juke out a safety to the house? I don't want him in there having to deal with defensive linemen and linebackers having their hands on him.
Well, let me make this make that point a little finer as to how bad of a play call that was. As Daniel Shirley stepping up in the pocket, trying to find something, gets hit as he throws. Then we have a 3rd and 11. Here's how bad that play call was, Bomber. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if the coaching staff of the Tennessee Titans noticed, but they had already called PAFK quick. They had already called the wide receiver quick. There was only one other play to run. So when that receiver comes over, there's only one thing he's going to do. It's that slash up the middle. So it just yells out to the Titans, we're running it up the gut. Now Shirley needs to convert, and he finds Allen Robinson, who can't hold on to the ball. Wow. Oh, AR-15's got to hold on to that bad boy because he needed that one. Now Jacksonville, 4 down territory. You got to go for it. You can't let this opportunity go by the wayside.
Absolutely. That was an opportunity. You want to be the big guy. You want to be the face of this wide receiver core. And I would have gone for it right there. I mean, 28-7.
Why are you punting?
I don't know.
You're down 21. Your defense hasn't been able to stop a nosebleed. You're going to give. Is this a fake? No? Just punting it? All right.
Fair catch there, called by number 14. He said, I've done enough running today.
I'm good. I'm tired.
He said, I'm good right now. I've done enough running.
I'm gassed.
Take it at the 3.
I just, the play call, I don't know if this is Jacksonville. They're not used to being in the position of needing to win games at the end of the season. I don't know what this is, but the coaching has been horrendous for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a big reason, because at the end of the day, Shirley hasn't really made any mistakes. As this handoff up the middle to Henry, he's going to get the first down up to the 16-yard line, let that clock run a little more. There hasn't been turnovers, but the play calling has been real bad. And you see another questionable decision. I'm not sure the Jacksonville Jaguars touch the ball until there's under the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, probably not. And maybe getting the ball at the 3 was kind of their strategy. They can go the whole length of the field, kind of end this game up, wrap this game up, and more importantly, not give them enough time to even get 3 scores on the board as Tennessee's taking their time right now. A little play-action dive, and they go right to Henry on the weak side. He's got a lot of space. Gets down to the 33-yard line for Derrick Henry. Nice throw, nice awareness. I've really been impressed by the awareness of Marcus Mariota. One sloppy pass at the beginning of the game. I brought it up probably way more than I should have. But right there, you see, he sees the blitz coming. He gets a play action. He pulls the play action, finds Derrick Henry wide open. Great job by Marcus Mariota.
1st and 10 now for the Tennessee Titans. They change up the play. We're under the 5-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. Looks like 2 wide receivers over the left side, 2 tight ends on the right side of that formation. Now Mariota changing up the play once again, using a lot of clock here as Henry moves out to the right side. Nobody in the backfield with Marcus Mariota as he drops back to pass on 1st and 10. That man wide open underneath. It's Montgomery. He's going to get up near the 1st down marker to the 42-yard line. Give him 9 on the play. Going to bring him a 2nd and inches.
Yeah, back-to-back plays right there where you see the game clock getting into that red. When it gets into that red, we saw it earlier in the game with Marcus Mariota. He kind of gets behind on his play calling. He likes to make some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't leave him much time if he comes out of the huddle late.
2nd and inches. Handoff to Derrick Henry. 1st down, Derrick Henry. I mean, Derrick Henry has been the unsung hero of this team, Bomber. Up over 100 yards on the day. He has had a touchdown, and he has allowed the Tennessee Titans to really control this game. Marcus Mariota hasn't had to do a whole lot.
Yeah, he really hasn't. Hasn't had to do too much on the season either. It's really fascinating to see a quarterback as talented as Marcus Mariota, a receiver as talented as Darian Montgomery, but this defense and Derrick Henry, have just been phenomenal. One of the best in the business on the defensive side of the ball, and Derrick Henry has just been ground and pound. And when he gets going, this team is going to be a pretty tough out in the playoffs for anybody that plays them. They'll probably have a bye going into the playoffs, so essentially that would take them probably playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. If they get a win, that would be a really nice rematch that I hope we have on MBL Live, because we all know how that ended before in the playoffs for these 2 franchises.
Another 1st down for Derrick Henry. He's up to the 35-yard line. 18 carries, 117 yards for Derrick Henry. While we have a quick moment, want to give a big shout out to our graphic sponsor, web3ks.com. Again, folks, if you have any graphic needs, if you need custom graphics done, if you need templates, anything like that, hit up web3ks.com. They do a ton of work for us, and they are super affordable. We love working with them. As Niall Davis into the game during the Web3KS ad read, He's just going to find the end zone. 35 yards, touchdown,
and
Titans.
And our Web3KS player of the game,
Oh.
Niles Davis.
Niall Davis is a big fan of Web3KS.com as well. As you saw on his first carry of the day, he goes 35 yards to the house. This one is over. I was wrong. They are going to touch the ball before the 2-minute warning, Bomber. I just didn't expect them to give up a 35-yard run for a score. Does this... I wonder, does this put any sort of a tarnish on what the Jacksonville Jaguars did this year? Because they had done an unbelievable job and a huge improvement from where they were. And maybe this is just them proving that they're just not ready to be the top of the division. The Tennessee Titans are the class of this division. But does this game here on MBL Live with an opportunity to win, to stay in the playoff hunt, them laying this big of an egg, does it tarnish at all what the Jaguars have done this season?
Well, we talked about on the Commissioner Corner podcast. You can find that on our archives. Just on Friday, what did we talk about with Dallas, with the Giants, and with the Redskins? The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of experience in close games. Well, the Jaguars, on the flip side, don't have a lot of experience in games that really have this kind of magnitude. So they kind of, they kind of put the cart before the horse in this instant. And when they thought, well, maybe we can actually make the playoffs, they weren't ready. They actually came into this season 8-8, 9-7 is a win for this team, and they're still on pace to do that. So this season is not a loss to me, but to Jacksonville fans who got caught up in the hype and thought maybe we actually have an opportunity here to slide into the wild card spot, they were just believing their own hype. They're not there yet, but this might be a big game. In 2 seasons from now, we might look back, OSU, and say, remember that game where they had an opportunity to make the playoffs? They were all really young. They had just brought in Ebron, Morris, Barclay on their offense for their offensive weapons, and they just completely didn't show up. And we might see a turning of the tide here in 2 to 3 seasons and say that was the game that kind of gave them that experience to say, hey, this was our first really big game that we've had in this Madden cycle, and this could carry them in the next 2 to 3 seasons. They could look back on this for motivation as well as some experience gained.
Here's the one thing I wonder, Bomber, and this is, you talk about where teams go. I mean, the Jaguars, they're guaranteed at least a 500 finish, which is huge for this team. And they're going to be sort of middle of the pack drafting. They're going to have free agency, which they did such a great job in free agency last year, bringing in weapons. As Daniel Shirley dropping back to pass on 3rd and 3, dumps this off underneath. It's going to be a first down for the Jaguars, not giving up on this game, wanting to put up some more points. Here's the thing I wonder. This Jaguars team is a different team without Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette has been injured for most of the first 3 seasons. If you're the Jaguars, do you draft and or sign in free agency a running back and make him that sort of number one? You tell Leonard Fournette, until you can stay healthy, we have to have an insurance policy. And fun fact, Corey Grant is not that insurance policy.
Yeah, he's not. And you know this coming in. As we said, NBL season 26, Leonard Fournette didn't even reach 45 carries on the season. I know he came back NBL season 27. He played a full plethora of games, but he's hurt again. No more excuses in Jacksonville. We need to bring in somebody. There was a DeMarco Murray out there. There was a nice throw right here by Daniel Shirley as a tightrope the sideline from Morris Barclay, I believe that was. 10 for 18, 201 yards, and a touchdown for Shirley. No interceptions.
It's a nice game.
That's an improvement. Yeah, you see, he's played decent. He hasn't had the protection that Tennessee has had, but under the same light, they're just not there yet. They're younger.
Yeah, they're a young team, and this was the number 8 overall defense coming in, and the Jaguars defense has not looked like that against this Titans team.
No, they haven't. Not at all. They look like a team that, when they play poor offenses, they take advantage of it, and that could have been intercepted as they try to force it into the seam against man coverage to Eric Ebron. Don't like that throw from Daniel Shirley here with 1:52 left. NBL Live broadcast number 160. Dude, does Jacksonville make the playoffs next year? I'm going to ask the chat. What do you guys think? I mean, you guys have seen pretty kind of a poor performance. I couldn't imagine anybody really saying yes unless they were closer to the situation. What do you think, OSU?
No.
This is no playoffs.
No, and here's why. And if you've watched Highly Debatable, if you watch any of the stuff where we talk about teams, as Daniel Shirley is going to go down once again, as it looks like Wilson gets sacked there. I'm a harper on, I look at schedules. I think schedules are so important. And this Jacksonville Jaguar team is going to go from having a team that, this is a team that finished last in the division, so they get the last place schedule. Now they're going to go into the second place schedule, and that's a much tougher schedule. They're going to face all the second place teams from across the AFC. You're talking about the Cleveland Browns next year. You're talking about the Oakland Raiders. You're talking about either the Bills or the Jets. Their schedule gets a lot harder next year. I don't know who they are going to face in terms of divisions on there, but that's where I think it's hardest for a team that is making the improvement that Jacksonville did. Great job. They've won some great games. But now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, they're going to have to play a tougher schedule. And my biggest criticism of this Jaguars team has been, like, when they were sitting there, I think they were at 5-2. 2 of their wins were over the underperforming Indianapolis Colts. As Allen Robinson's going to find the end zone, they're going to make this one a little closer as they get in there. 2 wins over the Indianapolis Colts. They had a win over a 2-win team. I mean, it's when they've won the games they're supposed to. They've lost the games that they were supposed to. I get concerned about Jacksonville next year having to play that second place in the division schedule. Your strength of schedule goes up. Plus, I don't know what Jacksonville has contract-wise, what they're going to be re-signing or whatnot. I just don't think, unless they make a big play in the free agency, I don't know if this team is ready yet for the playoffs.
Yeah,
and the AFC is brutal.
They might just be, and they might have just swapped places with the Indianapolis Colts.
Sure.
I mean, a couple seasons ago, the Colts were kind of in the same kind of talk, borderline playoff team, 10 wins, 9 wins. The Colts are now 6-8. Maybe a little bit better than, maybe they're more of the Texans as far as the 4-11. That's more of a previous Jacksonville record. Seems like they've kind of switched spots. The Colts have now taken the 3rd seat, Jacksonville up there, but not really a threat, really a playoff threat, or really a high-quality team where you can go, well, they're not a playoff team maybe just yet, but they can win those big games. I don't think Jacksonville can even beat a good team right now, but I do think, which is an improvement, they can consistently beat those teams that they're better than, and I think that is a start, and that's something you say, hey, that's a positive we take away from here, now let's get better, and let's try to compete with these bigger dog teams.
Yeah, I just think it all comes down to you got to make that next step and beat some of the top teams. I don't know if Jacksonville is ready for that, but who knows what happens in the offseason, folks. We've seen teams make big leaps in the offseason. We've seen teams take a step back, as this one is going to go final 35-14, Tennessee with a dominant win. Did see a question in the chat from Jay Fines. Question, will all playoff games be MBL Live? The answer, not all playoff games, because that's a lot of games. But we will have all playoff rounds broadcast on the MBL Network, including doubleheader AFC and NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, which is one of our biggest shows. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stick around. We still got Week 17 coming up. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button or follow us on Twitter. We'll announce what game that is once we schedule that one. That'll be probably just after this game. But Bomber, it's time to take our selection for the NBL Live Player of the Game for broadcast number 160. I'm going to throw out a couple names to you, Bomber. You make your choice. Derrick Henry. Fantastic game. A real nice job on the ground, sort of controlling the tone. Darren Anua had 2 sacks. Really derailed a couple drives for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Titans, very talented young defensive lineman. And then I'm also going to throw out Tywan Taylor. He had the big punt return. He had a couple big catches. He was fantastic.
Whoa. Wait, who? At punt return? Wasn't it, now I can't remember the name. That wasn't him.
What did I say the wrong name?
Yeah, what is his name? Oh my gosh! Now it's number 14 on Tennessee.
Wait, hold on, I got this.
I'm not picking him anyway, so this is really.
I got this. Oh no, it's JJ Nelson.
JJ Nelson, yeah, that's
who had a punt return. That was sort of the score that put this one out of reach. But
I think we're also missing nose tackle Nick Mazesco.
Oh,
I mean,
thank
he
you.
Just seemed
big dude, real big dude on the line, big guy.
Extra nose.
Lots of nose.
I'm going with.
We're not talking about Sonny. We're talking about me.
We had Derrick Henry on that list, obviously, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be Derrick Henry. Yeah, he just enforced his will against Jacksonville. They couldn't do nothing to stop it. I mean, the time of possession controlled by Tennessee because they have a halfback as talented as Derrick Henry, as physically demanding, and they would stack the box against him, and then he would bounce it outside, and it was literally very, very, very tough to defend for Jacksonville. They just did not seem like they were able to say, you know what, let them go up the middle and we'll just worry about containing the edge. They really didn't want to do that. Their game plan coming in today was force them outside. Well, he went outside and he ran all over you, and that's my NBL Live Player of the Game. You can find our Player of the Game archives on 365.maddenbomberleague.com. 365 because we are August to August full immersion gaming. And that's going to do it for me. Derrick Henry, Player of the Game, broadcast number 160.
Yeah, he had a great game for Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. They moved to 13-2 on the year. If you're looking, trying to look forward, what we're going to be looking at for Week 17, I'm going to throw out a couple games. It just depends on the schedules. The one that I keep looking at, Jets and Bills, that one's going to be for the division, pending these games this week. I still believe that one's going to be for the division. We've also got the Saints and the Cowboys. That's going to be a great game as well. So we will post that on our Twitter, @BomberLeague. Give us a follow over there, or just hit that subscribe button down below so you know when we go live. We'll be looking at that game probably Monday night, maybe Sunday. I don't know if we'll do it New Year's Day, but we'll just just stay tuned. Just hit that subscribe button. It's really easy. You know when we go live. Look for BTF Detroit Lions coming out. And most of all, have yourselves a happy new year. 2017 is done here on the MBL Network. It was a great year for the network, and we appreciate everybody out there who supported us, everybody who has tuned into a network show. Keep doing it, and we got some great stuff on the way here in 2018, so you're going to want to stay tuned. For my co-host, the commissioner himself, Bomber, I'm OSU. Once again, your final score here on the last MBL Live of 2017, the Tennessee Titans, they enforced their will. They win this game big, 35-14. We'll see you next year. Ha! I made the next year joke. You all can hate me. Next year, 2018, right here on MBL Live.